The Joker's name is synonymous with comic book villain. He's sadistic, undeniably evil, and pure chaos in the most entertaining form. And the hero-villain relationship he has with Batman is of epic proportions. Many authors and illustrators have had their go at the Prince of Darkness, but there are a few alternate versions out there outside of the mainstream DC continuity that have really stood out over the years. So let's take a look at our top 10 alternate Jokers. Also, spoilers, you've been warned. And at number 10, we've got Gotham by Gaslight. So this steampunk Elseworlds version of Batman is pretty cool on its own, taking place in 1889 and featuring Jack the Ripper. But the Joker makes an appearance in it as a serial killer whose MO was marrying and poisoning women. He tries to commit suicide by taking the poison himself, but it instead leaves him with a permanent grin. While this isn't the most prominent alternate Joker appearance on the list, we had to include it, mainly because the prospect of an 1889 Joker is just too good to not talk about. The only downside is that I wish we had seen more of him. And at number 9, we've got Captain Carrot and his amazing zoo crew. Alright, let's take a look at one that's super adorable. So Captain Carrot and his amazing zoo crew was a short-lived series that DC pumped out in 1982 after their group of furry superheroes made an appearance in the new Teen Titans number 16. It features a series of side characters that resemble some of our favorite DC heroes, such as Batmouse, Wonder Wabbit, and Aquaduck. So of course Batmouse needs a nemesis fitting of his animal exterior in this world too. Meet the Porker. He's everything you would imagine him to be. Literally, he is just a pig dressed up as the Joker. With hair. But A for effort, guys. And at number 8 is Amalgam Comics. So back in 1996, DC and Marvel worked on a combined publication called Amalgam Comics. If you've ever heard of the Dark Claw character that was a combination of Batman and Wolverine, this is where it came from. It didn't last long though, but it did include a few fascinating versions of fan favorites that managed to gain a bit of a cult following over the years. So meet the Hyena. He's an amalgamation of the Joker, Harley Quinn, and Marvel's Sabretooth, which makes sense since his nemesis is Logan Wayne, aka Dark Claw. He has the ability to rapidly regenerate and heal his injuries, and was a part of the Weapon X program, which was an attempt at creating living weapons. Sound familiar? Anyway, according to Marvel, Amalgam Comics is known as Earth 9602, but DC has never actually mentioned what Earth this universe takes place on in their universe, so it's safe to say that the Hyena likely won't be making any return appearances anytime soon. Up next at number 7, we've got Batman BLOODSTORM. In 1994's BLOODSTORM, we have a Joker who takes over a group of vampires after their leader, Dracula, dies. What a boss. So of course he faces off against Batman in this one, but Batman has been turned to a vampire. Plus he also takes on Selina Kyle, who is a werecat version of herself. Yeah. They manage to defeat Joker and his bloodthirsty minions, but not without killing Selina in the process, which causes Batman to suck the Joker's blood. Out of grief, of course. But then he stakes the Joker so he can't come back as a vampire. But the Joker forced Bats to kill, so who's the real winner in this one? I'll let you guys decide. Up next, number 6, we've got THRILLKILLER and THRILLKILLER 62. So this one's actually pretty cool. Another Elseworlds addition to the DC universe taking place on Earth 37, THRILLKILLER was a miniseries in 1997 that was set in the 1960s. The Joker in this one is a female version named Bianca Steeplechase, and she is oh so sapphic. Really. But she's just as evil. Her crimes in this one include poisoning Robin, torturing Bruce Wayne, and pretending to be the mayor's wife. She also has a thing for Harley Quinn, because what Joker wouldn't? And at number 5, we've got Batman Beyond. So if you guys are fans of DC's animated universe, you probably really dug Batman Beyond. Personally, at times I thought Terry was a tad annoying, but overall Bruce Timm and Paul Dini really killed it with this show. Anyway, the Joker makes an appearance in the Batman Beyond Return of the Joker film, where we also get a flashback to the Joker fighting Bruce Wayne's Batman. Barbara Gordon, now retired, tells Terry, our new Batman, about how Batman and Joker's fight went down, and why Bruce believed him to be dead. After forcing Batman to watch a home video that he made of him torturing Tim Drake's Robin, he also turns Tim Drake into a miniature junior Joker, and Batman loses his shit. Anyway, back in Terry's timeline, the Joker claims to have returned 35 years later, leading a gang called Jokers, spelt with a Z. Turns out it's Tim Drake who can transform into a clone of the Joker via a secretly implanted microchip, as one does. At number 4, we've got Martha Wayne from Justice League: The Flashpoint Paradox. So Martha Wayne makes this list at our number 4 spot because of how messed up this one is. It occurs in the Flashpoint timeline, and if you haven't seen Flashpoint Paradox, here's how the narrative plays out. So Bruce Wayne's origin story doesn't go down the same way it normally does. In this timeline, it's Bruce who's shot dead, not his parents. Seeing Bruce die in front of her took a toll on Martha's sanity, and she ends up becoming the Joker. I mean, look at that face. That's a face of someone who is really not okay. From here, chaos ensues and she kidnaps Harvey Dent. Luckily, Martha doesn't stay the Joker for too long as the Flash reverses the timeline by going back in time. And at number 3 is Batman NOSFERATU. So get ready to geek out over this one, guys. So back in 1999, DC published Batman NOSFERATU via its Elseworlds imprint, and it's part of a trilogy based on German Expressionist cinema. So if you're unfamiliar with what that is, it's a movement that occurred from before World War I up until the 1920s, and it's a modernist movement dealing with subjective perspectives that sometimes distort reality in order to evoke emotional responses. Anyway, in this one shot, the Joker appears as the Laughing Man, a demented cyborg patient of Dr. Arkham's, who, by the way, holds psychomantic seances for the entertainment of the wealthy people living in Metropolis. So the Laughing Man tries to kill Bruce Wayne and is the reason why he actually becomes Batman, or rather NOSFERATU. Try that on as an origin story. Also, can we just bring up the fact that this might be the most horrific the Joker has ever looked? Pretty terrifying. Definitely check this one out, guys, and make sure to give the other 2 parts of the trilogy a go. Superman's Metropolis and Wonder Woman's The Blue Amazon. The art is absolutely spectacular. At our number 2 spot, we've got The Dark Knight Strikes Again. Coming at you from Earth 31, The Dark Knight Strikes Again is the follow-up to Miller's The Dark Knight Returns, and this time, a new Joker picks up the mantle. While The Dark Knight Strikes Again doesn't quite live up to its predecessor, it did provide readers with a pretty twisted version of the Joker, in the form of Dick Grayson. At first, a complete mystery man, this Joker goes around killing off old superheroes like Martian Manhunter. Why, Dick, why? Well, because Lex Luthor has spent years conducting radical gene therapy on him and wants him to end Batman's superhero revolution. It's a pretty decent reason. Which is totally cool with Grayson because Batman actually fired him years and years ago and he's still a little sensitive about it. But come on, man, leave Carrie Kelly alone. She's so cool. And finally, at our number 1 spot, we've got The Dark Knight Returns. Frank Miller's iconic The Dark Knight Returns occurs on Earth 31 and contains one of the most vivid portrayals of the Joker to date. It's beautiful and tragic and just the right amount of sick. Awakening from a catatonic state, the Joker appears to be reformed, with a team of doctors gloating to the media about his rehabilitation. But this doesn't last too long. The Joker appears on a television show and kills everyone in the studio in an attempt to lure Batman to him. What unravels over the course of this narrative has greatly inspired many of the Batman comics post-1986 that you now know and love, and cements the twisted relationship the Joker and Bat share. After battling it out in the Tunnel of Love at a carnival, Batman fractures the Joker's neck, but refuses to kill him, so the Joker commits suicide, inevitably framing Batman for the murder, in some of the most impactful panels in comic book history. While the Joker in The Dark Knight Returns may not be seen as that alternative of a version of the one on Earth 1, it's hard to deny that Miller's version of the Joker is one of the most influential Jokers ever crafted. And yeah, I'm a little bit biased because it's my favorite, although I gotta say Scott Snyder's New 52 Joker is a close second. So what do you guys think? Were there versions of the Joker that we should have included on this list? Yeah, I gotta say some of these I picked out of preference, but with a character as dynamic as the Joker, there's so many awesome variations, and it's hard to settle on just 10. So give me a shout in those comments below and let me know who your favorite version of the Joker is. For now, I've been Kelly Pally, and this has been Top 10 Nerd. I'll catch you guys in the next one.